Mr. President, I should like to introduce Kenji Yoshino, Chief Justice Earl Warren Professor of Constitutional Law, School of Law, who will present the candidate for Doctor of Laws. Will Trustee Anthony Welters please escort the candidate to the lectern?
David Boies, renowned litigator and legal pioneer, you have exercised sweeping influence in the nation and its profession of law by tackling the most crucial issues of our time. Headed for a career in the academy, you earned an undergraduate degree from Northwestern University, a law degree from Yale, and then a master's degree in law from NYU, where you first taught and are now a trustee, frequent speaker, and moving mentor. You were lured from the classroom into the courtroom by Cravath, Swaine, and Moore for a long and illustrious tenure of litigation before you founded your own firm of Boies, Schiller, and Flexner. You have argued landmark cases for decades, whether defending CBS in a defamation suit brought by General Westmoreland in the 1980s, waging an antitrust battle against Microsoft on behalf of the United States in the 1990s, or representing Al Gore in the contest over the 2000 presidential election. Now you are engaged in the defining civil rights struggle of this generation, leading the charge for marriage equality. As Hollingsworth versus Perry, the federal constitutional challenge to California's Proposition 8 awaits a ruling by the United States Supreme Court.
David Boies. David Boies, devoted alumnus, pivotal figure in your profession, and arguably the lawyer of the century. You have advanced a broader discussion of justice in the nation, even as you have remained a revered member of the NYU family. By virtue of the authority vested in me by New York University, I am pleased to confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Laws, honoris causa. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm pleased to introduce David Boies, who will respond on behalf of the honorary degree recipients. David?
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, President Sexton. Thank you, Marty Lipton and the trustees, on behalf of myself and all of the recipients for this honor. And in particular, thank you to the class of 2013 and all your families and friends for letting us share this day, your day, with you. It is a little intimidating to be here in Yankee Stadium on second base. It's a little intimidating to speak to this crowd. I can take some comfort from the fact that probably 10 years from now, none of you will remember what I said. A friend of mine was at the Naval Academy when Jack Kennedy spoke at the commencement, and he told me when he heard that I was delivering the commencement speech, "Don't worry," he said, "I don't remember a single thing President Kennedy said, and if I don't remember what Jack Kennedy said, they're not going to remember what you said." Another reason that people tend not to remember what commencement speakers say is because this is a day that you don't have your mind on what other people are saying to you, because you quite justifiably have your mind on what you have just accomplished. And the last reason that people tend not to remember what we say is we tend to talk on a day like this in platitudes. Keep learning, change the world, don't be afraid to fail. The problem is that it's too easy to dismiss platitudes. A good working definition of a platitude is something that is so true and is repeated so often that people begin to ignore it. One of the platitudes of our country is that all people are created equal. One of the platitudes of our country is that every person has an inalienable right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. We are engaged today in a civil rights struggle to try to end the last official bastion of discrimination in this country, where the government discriminates against its own citizens. There are many areas of social discrimination that we need to address. We've made enormous progress since I was born, in a time when blacks and whites couldn't go to school together or drink from the same water fountain or eat at the same diner, where women had few rights, could be legally raped by their husbands, couldn't control their own property, where gays and lesbians were hunted down, subject to horrific violence, where, when I was a senior in high school, President Dwight David Eisenhower issued an executive order that prohibited the federal government from employing any gay or lesbian citizen in any capacity. Could not be a clerk typist, you could not be a mail carrier, you could not be a government lawyer. We've come a long ways since then, but we have a long way still to go. Sometime in June, the Supreme Court is going to hand down a decision not only in Edith Windsor's case, and what a hero she is. But also in the case that we brought in California to invalidate Proposition 8 that banned gay and lesbian marriage. The California Supreme Court had ruled that everyone in California had a constitutional right under the California Constitution to marry the person that they loved. Proposition 8 overturned that aspect of the Constitution in California. And we then brought a lawsuit in federal court to hold that Proposition 8 violated the federal Constitution protection of equal protection and due process. If you think about it, prohibiting people from getting married because of their sexual orientation is no different than the prohibition that the state of Virginia had in 1967 that prohibited people of different races from marrying. The Supreme Court, in Loving against Virginia, struck that discriminatory statute down. We are asking the United States Supreme Court in Hollingsworth v. Perry to strike down California's discriminatory bond. I can't tell you today how the Supreme Court is going to rule in June. But what I can tell you is that if we don't win it in Perry, we will continue the fight until we do win it. No civil rights struggle proceeds in a straight line. There are reverses, and there have been many reverses in this civil rights struggle already. But fundamentally, we are right because, as everyone knows at the platitude stage, everyone is entitled to equal protection. And we have, as a society, only succeeded in ignoring that because we have been able to characterize people, women, African Americans, people of different religions, and people of different sexual orientation as different. They are not. We know it. They know it. And someday the United States Supreme Court will recognize it. Hopefully in June, but if not June, there will come a day. So congratulations, and join us in trying to make platitudes real. Thank you.